Hello, my dear friends, and welcome. As we get older, we gather a lifetime of experiences. Some bring us happiness, while others teach us important lessons. But every experience helps shape who we are today. However, aging isn't just about getting older. It also comes with emotional and mental challenges that many people don't expect. You might wonder, how can I continue to earn respect from others? How can I make sure my later years are filled with love, peace, and meaningful relationships? The answer lies in three things: how we speak, how we act, and who we surround ourselves with. These three things can make the difference between feeling valued and fulfilled or struggling with loneliness and regret. Aging isn't just about adding years to our lives. It's about growing wiser, building positive relationships, and finding inner peace. There are certain words we should avoid, actions we need to be careful about, and people we should distance ourselves from to protect our emotional and mental well-being. These may seem like small changes, but they make a big difference in our lives. Many people don't realize they are pushing their loved ones away with their words or actions. Some unknowingly isolate themselves, while others stay around people who drain their energy and happiness. But once we recognize these patterns, we can change them. We can create a life filled with peace, purpose, and strong relationships. In this video, we will talk about simple but powerful principles. You'll learn how to earn and keep the respect of those around you, build deeper relationships, and live with dignity and confidence. Because aging isn't just about getting through life. It's about embracing it with wisdom, strength, and joy. So, grab a warm cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's go on this journey together. Stay with me until the end, because these lessons could truly change the way you experience your golden years. The first thing to avoid: speaking about others' weaknesses. Have you ever noticed how some people just can't stop gossiping? The moment they sit down for coffee, they start talking about others. Did you hear about Nancy's son? He still doesn't have a job. Oh, and Mary, she gained so much weight since last summer, bless her heart. Before you know it, the whole conversation turns into a list of people's flaws, mistakes, and problems. Let's be honest, we've all been in situations like this. Maybe we even joined in once or twice. At the moment, it might seem harmless. But here's the truth. Talking about others' weaknesses doesn't just hurt them, it hurts us too. Why keeping quiet about others' mistakes is wise. First, let's get one thing clear. Nobody is perfect. Not me, not you, not even the lady down the street who seems to have everything together. We all make mistakes, have bad days, and do things we regret. But think about this. Do you want to be remembered for your worst moments? Of course not. And neither does anyone else. That's why wise people, especially those who age with grace, understand that pointing out other people's flaws doesn't make us look better. It just makes us look unkind. Negative words have a ripple effect. A careless comment may seem small to us, but for the person hearing it, it can stay in their mind for years. So if we want to live with peace, happiness, and strong relationships, we need to be mindful of our words. Instead of focusing on others' flaws, let's choose kindness, encouragement, and wisdom. Imagine how many relationships have been strained, how many friendships have faded, all because of a few thoughtless words spoken in the wrong place at the wrong time. The truth is, people never forget how you make them feel. If you're someone who constantly highlights others' weaknesses, don't be surprised if people start avoiding you or hesitating to open up around you. But here's the good news. The opposite is also true. When you choose to focus on people's strengths, when you lift them up instead of tearing them down, you create an environment where love, trust, and respect can thrive. Wise women know that kindness isn't just about being nice, it's about building a legacy of warmth and wisdom that makes people feel safe and valued. Now, some of you might be thinking, but what if they really need to hear the truth? Ah, yes, the great excuse of constructive criticism. But let's be real, how often does pointing out someone's flaws actually help them? More often than not, it just makes them feel embarrassed, defensive, or hurt. True wisdom lies in knowing when to speak and how to say things in a way that helps rather than harms. So, here's a little challenge for you. The next time you're tempted to comment on someone's mistakes, stop and ask yourself, is this necessary? Is it kind? Is it helpful? If the answer isn't a strong yes, maybe it's best to let it go. There's already enough criticism in the world. Why not be the person who brings encouragement instead? Ladies, life is too short to waste time on negativity. When we focus less on others' weaknesses and more on spreading kindness, we not only create a better world for those around us, we also make our own lives so much richer and more joyful. So, if you're with me on this journey of choosing grace over gossip, let me know in the comments by saying, I choose kindness. Now let's get started. Number 2, don't brag about yourself in the past. Have you ever met someone who just can't stop talking about how great they used to be? Back in my day, I was the best cook in town. I used to have the most beautiful figure. Men would turn their heads on the street. Oh, you should have seen me at work. I practically ran the whole company, and after about 5 minutes of listening, you start wondering if they were so amazing, why do they have to keep reminding us? Now, don't get me wrong, we all have accomplishments we're proud of. We've lived full lives, raised families, worked hard, and overcome challenges. But here's a little secret. The more you brag, the less impressive it sounds. In fact, talking about yourself too much can have the opposite effect. It makes people tune out, roll their eyes, or worse, start avoiding you at social gatherings. There's an old saying, if you have to tell people how great you are, maybe you're not that great after all. The truth is, truly accomplished people don't need to announce their success. Their actions, wisdom, and the way they carry themselves speak louder than any words ever could. Think about the people you admire most. Are they the ones constantly reminding you of how wonderful they were? Or are they the ones who listen, encourage, and inspire without needing to steal the spotlight? Bragging isn't just tiring for others, it's exhausting for you too. When you keep talking about your past achievements, it can create pressure to keep proving yourself, even when you don't have to. It's like wearing an old beauty queen sash and expecting people to still cheer. It doesn't quite have the same effect after 40 years. But let's be clear, humility doesn't mean you should downplay your accomplishments. It simply means letting them shine without needing constant validation. Instead of telling people how successful you used to be, let them see how wise, kind, and confident you are now. A quiet kind of confidence is far more attractive than a long-winded speech about past glories. So what's the best way to carry yourself? Be the kind of person whose presence, not their past, makes an impact. Let people notice your wisdom rather than feel forced to hear about it. And remember, when people truly admire and respect you, they'll ask about your experiences. You won't need to remind them. 3. Don't speak meaningless or worthless things. Have you ever been stuck in a conversation where someone just keeps talking and talking and talking without actually saying anything? Maybe they repeat the same story for the 3rd time this week, or they ramble on about their neighbor's cousin's dog who might have a hip problem. And all the while, you're just sitting there, nodding politely, wondering if it's too early to pretend you have a phone call. Today, we're diving into a little-known secret to wisdom, respect, and staying interesting no matter your age. Speak less, but make it count. Because, my dear friends, talking too much, especially about things that don't matter, doesn't make people listen more. In fact, it makes them stop listening altogether. Let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, a little frog croaked all day and night. His throat got dry, his belly felt bitter, and yet nobody cared for his noise. Meanwhile, a small bird sang just 3 notes each morning, and people loved it, even feeling grateful for its song. The lesson here, it's not about how much you say. It's about saying the right things at the right time. Wise women don't waste their breath on meaningless chatter. They understand that the value of words doesn't come from quantity, but from depth, kindness, and purpose. They speak when they have something worth hearing and listen when it's time to learn. That's why people respect them, seek their advice, and actually enjoy their company. On the other hand, have you ever noticed that when someone talks non-stop without saying much, people start tuning out? Their words lose meaning and eventually, they just become background noise. Like a TV left on in an empty room. Talking too much, especially without substance, can make people respect you less, not more. And let's be honest, who has time for pointless conversations? Life is too short to waste on gossip. So, before you say something, ask yourself, is this helpful? Is this kind? Does this actually need to be said? If not, maybe it's best to let silence do the talking. After all, silence isn't just golden. It's a superpower that gives you time to reflect, observe, and truly connect with the people around you. Ladies, let's make a pact today. Speak less, but speak wisely. Let your words carry weight. Your conversations hold meaning, and your presence be something people cherish, not something they endure. If you agree, drop a less talk, more wisdom in the comments below. Now, let's get into why the art of saying less is one of the greatest skills you can master. Second, 3 things not to do. Number 1, don't compare yourself to others. Have you ever found yourself scrolling through old photos or watching someone else's life and thinking, wow, she's aging so much better than I am? Or why does she have such a big family visiting her all the time while I sit here alone? If so, let me tell you a little secret. Comparing yourself to others is the fastest way to unhappiness. We've all done it. Maybe it's looking at a friend who seems to have the perfect retirement, a neighbor who still looks like she walked out of a fashion magazine, or a woman at church whose family never seems to miss a Sunday visit. And yet, every time we fall into the comparison trap, what do we get? Frustration, jealousy, and a whole lot of unnecessary stress. But here's the truth. Life isn't a competition. Everyone has their own journey, their own challenges, and their own timeline. Some people were born with advantages we never had. Others have had struggles we wouldn't wish on anyone. Comparing your life to someone else's is like comparing a rose to a sunflower. Both are beautiful, but they bloom in their own way, in their own time. Instead of looking at what others have, what if we focused on our own progress? Think about who you were 5, 10, or even 20 years ago. Have you grown wiser? Have you overcome hardships? Have you created memories that are worth more than any material success? These are the things that truly matter. If you must compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to someone else today. The best way to break free from comparison is to invest in yourself. Learn something new, set small goals, or simply enjoy the life you've worked so hard to build. Because at the end of the day, happiness doesn't come from having what others have. It comes from appreciating what you already have. 2. Don't hurt others. Let's be honest. Have you ever met someone who just seems determined to bring others down? Maybe it's that one neighbor who never has a kind word to say, or a distant relative who seems to thrive on gossip and negativity. The truth is, Hurting others never leads to happiness. It's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. We've all felt jealousy, resentment, or even irritation towards someone at some point. Maybe our friend's family is more attentive than ours. Maybe someone we know seems to have everything handed to them while we've had to struggle. But here's the thing. Trying to pull others down doesn't lift us up. In fact, it does the opposite. When we focus on negative emotions like jealousy or resentment, the only person we truly harm is ourselves. There's an old saying, when you throw dirt at others, you lose ground yourself. And isn't that the truth? Instead of wasting time being bitter about someone else's success, why not celebrate it? A friend buys a new house? Wonderful. May it be filled with love and laughter. A neighbor's grandkids visit more often? Good for them. What a blessing to have such strong family ties. Someone achieves something great? Let it inspire you, not defeat you. Because here's another secret. Happy people attract happiness. When you genuinely feel joy for others, that energy comes back to you in ways you never expect. Now, let's talk about kindness. A lot of people think kindness has to be some grand gesture, but small acts of goodwill are just as powerful. A compliment, a helping hand, a sincere, "I'm thinking of you on a rough day." These things matter. When you choose kindness over negativity, you're not just making someone else's day better, you're creating peace in your own heart. On the flip side, have you ever noticed that people who constantly criticize, gossip, or try to hurt others are never truly happy? They may act like they have it all together, but deep down, they're restless, bitter, and always looking for something to complain about. That's not the kind of energy we need in our golden years. So, my dear friends, let's choose a different path. Let's be the women who lift others up. Let's be the ones who bring warmth, kindness, and light into every room we enter. Because when you live with sincerity, integrity, and a heart full of goodwill, if you agree, kindness is power in the comments. 3. Don't chase after meaningless or worthless gains. Have you ever seen a cat chasing a laser pointer? It pounces, it leaps, it runs in circles, only to realize it's never actually catching anything. Now, let me ask you this. How many of us spend our lives doing the same thing, chasing after things we think will make us happy, only to find out they don't? We all know someone who spent their whole life running after more money, bigger houses, or fancier things, only to end up exhausted, disappointed, and still feeling like something's missing. It's because true happiness doesn't come from how much you have. A bigger house won't fill an empty heart. A designer handbag won't carry your worries away. And let's be honest, does that extra set of expensive dinnerware really make the food taste better? The truth is, the most content people aren't the ones with the most stuff. They're the ones who know how to enjoy life with gratitude and generosity. Instead of chasing after things that won't matter in the long run, why not invest in what truly lasts? Laughter with friends, time with family, the joy of giving to others. These are the things that bring real fulfillment. So let's stop running after things that don't add real value to our lives. Instead, let's slow down, appreciate what we have, and focus on what truly matters. If you agree, type "true wealth is gratitude" in the comments. Third, 3 people not to associate with. Number 1, don't associate with unhappy and selfish people. Some people just drain the life out of a room. You know the type, the ones who always have something to complain about, who see problems instead of solutions, and who somehow turn every conversation into a tragic tale about how life has been unfair to them. 5 minutes in their presence and suddenly, even a sunny day feels cloudy. Negativity is contagious. Surround yourself with unhappy, selfish people for too long, and before you know it, their pessimism starts creeping into your own thoughts. You could be feeling perfectly fine, but then Debbie Downer arrives, listing her problems like a grocery receipt, and suddenly you feel exhausted. And the selfish ones, they love to talk about themselves. The moment you share something, they either dismiss it or, even worse, turn the conversation right back to them. These people don't lift you up, they drain your energy and joy. Life is too short to spend time with people who leave you feeling emotionally drained. True friendships should bring laughter, warmth, and support, not stress, complaints, and a constant feeling of obligation. Good friends celebrate your victories, listen when you need them, and remind you that life is still full of beautiful moments. At this stage in life, peace and happiness should be the priority. Surround yourself with kind, uplifting, and positive people, those who make you feel lighter, not heavier. Let's leave behind the ones who only take, never give, and make every interaction feel like hard work. Choose joy, choose peace, and most importantly, choose people who make life brighter, not darker. 2. Don't associate with people who think only of their benefits. Some people are like a one-way street. Everything flows in their direction and nothing ever comes back. You know the ones. They only call when they need a favor. They only visit when it benefits them, and somehow, every conversation circles back to what you can do for them. If you ever dare to ask for something in return, suddenly they're too busy, too tired, or conveniently forgot. Being around selfish people is exhausting. They take, and take some more, but never give. It starts small. Maybe they always let you pay for coffee or expect you to drive because you don't mind, right? Then, before you know it, you're rearranging your schedule to accommodate their needs while they barely acknowledge yours. And don't even think about bringing up fairness. They'll either act offended or magically disappear. The truth is, real friendships aren't built on transactions. They're about mutual care, respect, and a genuine desire to see each other happy. If someone only values you for what you can offer, not for who you are, then they're not a friend. They're just using you. And let's be honest, at this stage in life, who has time for that? Surround yourself with people who appreciate you, not just what you can do for them. The best friendships are with those who check in because they care, who offer help without being asked, and who don't keep score. These are the relationships that bring joy, laughter, and a true sense of belonging. So, let's make a deal. No more one-sided relationships, no more bending over backward for people who wouldn't lift a finger for you. Instead, let's invest in friendships that make us feel valued, respected, and truly loved. If you agree, type, "I choose real friendships" in the comments. 3. Don't associate with untrustworthy people. Trust is like fine china plate. Once it's broken, no matter how well you glue it back together, the cracks are always there. And yet, some people seem to have no problem shattering it over and over again. You know the type, always making promises they never keep, telling little white lies that somehow grow into full-blown deceptions, and worst of all, betraying your trust when you least expect it. Being around untrustworthy people is like leaving your front door open during a storm. You're just inviting trouble. One day they forget to pay you back. The next they spill a personal secret you told them in confidence. Before you know it, you're walking on eggshells, wondering what they'll do next. And the worst part? They always have an excuse. "I didn't mean it like that." Or, "You're overreacting." But let's be honest, ladies. We've lived long enough to know that if someone breaks your trust once, they'll do it again. A real friend doesn't gossip about you behind your back. A real friend doesn't use your kindness as an opportunity to take advantage of you. And a real friend definitely doesn't disappear the moment you need them most. At this stage in life, peace of mind is priceless. We deserve relationships built on honesty, respect, and genuine care, not ones where we have to second-guess every word and action. Surround yourself with people who keep their promises, who guard your secrets like their own, and who prove time and time again that they can be counted on. So, let's make a deal. No more one-sided relationships. No more bending over backward for people who wouldn't lift a finger for you. Instead, let's invest in friendships that make us feel valued, respected, and truly loved. If you agree, type "I choose real friendships" in the comments. Let's take a moment to reflect on everything we've uncovered today. We've explored some powerful principles that can truly reshape the way we navigate life, from letting go of comparisons to surrounding ourselves with the right people. Whether it's choosing personal growth, living with integrity, or building relationships based on trust, these small but impactful changes can lead to a life that is not only more peaceful, but also deeply fulfilling. Now, I want to hear from you. What's one key lesson that stood out to you today? What's something you're inspired to apply in your own life? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to continue this conversation and learn from your experiences. And if this video resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more wisdom and uplifting content. Thank you for being here, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.